government. That takes place. So on that point there, that's the Crown's perspective. But when you talk to the First Nation people, the Indigenous people, the Blackfoot people, the Stoney people, the Tsuut'ina, the Cree, the Assiniboine, the Dakota, the Chipewyan, the Kootenai, all the different peoples that lived in this country, when you ask them, their elders and their learned ones, what does the treaty mean? The treaty, what it was an agreement to live side by side with the newcomers, so that we could benefit together from the lands and the resources of the territory that sustained the first people since the time of glaciation. That's what the treaty was. It was a covenant between the first people, the newcomers, and the Creator. That was the agreement. That was the covenant. But today, when the treaty is brought up with our people and the Crown and the Government of Canada, it's only about extinguishment. It's only about dependency. It's only about underfunded contribution agreements for programs and services. That's what that means in today's discussions. From that point, from that perspective, you have the thinking of the people and the thinking of what's going on here. And I sat here all morning, and I sat here part of the afternoon, and I listened to the speakers, and I took notes. I was interested. I want to know what's going on in the world, and I was thinking, what is the message? Why does the Creator, why has He brought me here? There's a reason why I'm here, and there's a reason why I speak. I speak from my heart. I don't take notes. I'm educated somewhat, but in our culture, when we speak, oration is very important because the words are tied to the land. It's tied to the resources. It's tied to all beings that are there. That system of flux. And words are important because they convey messages. So on that point there, the understanding of where we've come from and where we are, it's a big story, and it's good that I stand here and I share that. But then we got to talk about what's going on now. It's wonderful to talk about the history and to romanticize. It's good to talk about those things. But in our day and age, we need to talk about what's going on today. The water resources in the province, there's issues of global warming, there's water quality, there's all kinds of issues that are there. But our people are not part of that process. We are not part of it. The only time we will be brought in any type of water management regime, any forestry management regime, any type of oil and gas management regime, is they will bring us in. They will bring us in, and they only want our traditional knowledge. They only want those proprietary interests, and to put that into a big database that they can use. And the proprietary interests and the benefits derived, which were agreed at the time of treaty, those are not even on the table. So on that point there, we play a limited role. And I'm not here to, criticize the Alberta government or criticize the Canadian government for that matter as being a silent treaty partner in all this process. I'm here as an Indigenous person to relay to you a perspective from a people who are oppressed, a people who have been colonized. And to take that and to understand where do we go from here. So when we look at water management, we play a very small role. And with the duty to consult The government follows a lower spectrum with dealing with us. If there's a management issue, if there's some kind of a dam or a reservoir or some kind of a new irrigation project or whatever that's going on, they are bound to consult with us. There's a crown, the duty of the honor of the crown is at stake. And what do? They write us correspondence. And for them, they're within their legal realm. And for us as Indigenous people, we have to do the research and we have to develop the capacity with issues of poverty, with issues of alcoholism, with issues of suicide, with issues of high unemployment, and dealing with those basic survival issues. And then at the same time, we got to go out there and be part of that regime. You know, there's issues there. There's issues of colonialism that are happening today. And I'm, you know, forgive me for maybe the tone of my voice right now, but you know, that has to be said. And it has to be heard.
Tell it like it is, brother.
Is that the guy talk that you were on the mic before, eh? Or is it the guy that said that? There was an older gentleman over there, and he was talking to the previous man here. And I was sitting over there, and I was thinking, well, as soon as I get my expense check, I'm going to go downtown, I'm going to buy a black wig with braids on it, and I'm going to go to that old man, and I'm going to put it on his head, and I'm going to do a quick adoption ceremony because we need warriors like that. So wherever he is, that was my thought over there.
It was the guy with his own wetland.
Well, there was a couple of them. You know, we need warriors over where I come from. No, I'm just kidding. So at any rate, on that point there, you know, as part of resource management, we play a minimal role. And now, I'd like to share with you a story of our people, the Ucalgary, and our issue with water management, our brief issue with water management. The Ucalgary, we're part of the Blackfoot Confederacy. There's three tribes. There's us, Ucalgary, there's Siksika, and there's Gana. In the language, Ucalgary means, there's different interpretations, but it's more like spotted robes, spotted buffalo robes, scabby robes. And with Siksika, theirs is, it means Blackfoot, because, you know, there's a story of them walking on the prairie after a grass fire, come back, and all their feet are black, so they were called Siksika. And then there's the Bloods, and then their name is Gana, Mini Chief. But the three Blackfoot people in Canada, then we have our Blackfeet brothers in the States, who are South Pagans, by the way. We signed a treaty in 1877. And at the signing of the treaty, our leader, who was by the name of sitting behind eagle tail feathers, at the treaty, he reserved an area, a geographic location where he wanted his descendants to live. And that area is known as today as our big reserve, and essentially what it is, it's the watershed of the Oman River basin, and that's the area that he reserved. And then as time went by and the Dominion surveyors came in and they surveyed our lands in the 1880s, we got a smaller reserve.